What's up, mortals? Alex here. Today I have a very special video for you guys. This is a video that I actually wanted to record a while ago, but I couldn't really find all the cars that I needed nor the time to. Now that I have most of the cars, as you can see, I will go through the history of my competitive Yu-Gi-Oh career. I just have to say that these are not all the decks that I've played, but these are the decks that I played the most throughout my quote-unquote, again, competitive career. I started playing the game back in 2004 when the anime came out, for me, I guess. But once I moved to this country, I stopped playing because I didn't have anyone to play with nor speak the language. After I met some people that play the game competitively, I actually played against them, and they were playing in sectors. This is early 2012, and they destroyed me. I saw the huge shift in the meta and how everything worked, and that's when I decided that I needed to be a little more competitive to do better at events. And that's when I decided to go on YouTube and study some of the cards, and I watched the GX anime, and my favorite character by far was Jesse, and Jesse was playing Crystal Beast. This is a deck that I picked up early back in 2012. This is my very first Yu-Gi-Oh deck of me being back at the game, and I had so much fun. Yes, the deck was not very competitive, but the way that I built it was very solid, and it could hold itself against some of the meta decks, even though I never really won anything, but still it has this place in my heart because it was the very first deck that I put together after I was back. Then we're moving a little forward to September 2012, and that's when I picked out Black Wings. And this is when Black Wings had nothing, by the way. Kalut was limited, Black Rowan was limited, Gale was limited as well. And I think a ban list before that, 8 curse attack was just put to 3 again. That's how dumb Konami was when it came to this deck. It just kept hitting it one after time after another, and I still like the playstyle of the deck. The cards, birds are my favorite animals, and I just really enjoy playing this deck. And even to this day, I still have it on me, and I play it all the time. So Black Wings, one of my favorites. Then a few months after that, I told my friend that I wanted to be a little more competitive. I had some extra cash on me, and I decided to buy wind-ups. And this is, as we all know, shock lock wind-ups. I was not a very big fan of the hand loop wind-ups. I thought that was pretty lame, and it was kind of unfair. It was actually really unfair. But when I played wind-ups, I was so bad. Mind you, I was just coming back into the game a few months before, and I decided to pick the best deck, hands down the best deck at that time. And all I knew how to do was shock lock. Let's just say that. I didn't know how to grind. I didn't know how to play the deck successfully. All I knew how to do was shock lock people, and that's how I won. And I thought it was big shit, but I was not because I was still really bad. Wind-ups. A little after that, I think it was right before Dragon Rulers came out. The deck severely got hit in the ban list, with Senmighty getting banned and Sangan as well. Magician being put to 1. That hurt the deck. So I decided to look into another one. After trying to make it viable, I looked for another deck, and the one that I found was Spellbooks. The Spellbook deck was a very welcome addition to my arsenal, mainly because it's a very controlled deck, much like Black Wings and Wind-Ups are. Yeah, these two decks can be very aggressive, but its nature, they are control-based. And that's what I was playing the most, control. And Spellbook, in my opinion, was the best control deck we've ever had. Spellbook of Fate was amazing. Controlling the board with Priestess and or World. I don't think World was out yet, but Priestess mainly, and Fate was insane. So I picked up this deck a little bit right before the August ban list where Judgment got banned and all the nonsense came back. But I love this deck. I took it to so many tournaments and I destroyed everybody with it. I had so much success with it. And I was known for the Spellbook guys at some not regionals, at some locals in the areas because of how much I played the deck and how well I played it. So this deck, I played it up until... When did I stop playing Spellbooks? I think a little bit after Duelist Alliance I played, but I will get to it in a little bit. So I play Spellbooks. I don't really play them as much. And this is an honorable mention. I wasn't really playing Infernities competitively, but I picked it up around the same time that Dragon Rulers came out. because everyone wanted money for the Giant Roller deck. So they were selling the Infernity deck for really cheap. I picked it up. I built it. Synchro, Xyz, or just Synchro. And it was amazing. This deck is insane. And the fact that it finds a way to adapt to the meta every single time that a new mechanic comes out, that's just like amazing. It's just so good what the deck can do in the engine. And that's why this guy stays still at 1 and will never see the day of light. Anyways, moving forward to August 2014, and this is when the game completely changed. Everything else was just bad, let's say, for the lack of a better word. Everything was just like not very playable when these guys came out. Duelist Alliance, mid to late August is when we saw these come out, and these just like power crept everything. Not so much Yang Zings, but they were still really good compared to everything else. But between the Duelist Alliance triangle, I guess, they had no chance. I don't have any Teller Knight cards here because I didn't really play Tellers that much. I played it for like a week or two, and then got rid of it. I started with Shaddolls because I was playing Fables. I was toying around with Shaddol Fables, and it was really cool. But never really liked this deck, mainly because it didn't really do much. Like, Construct wasn't that good just yet, even though Shaddol Fusion was not. But L Construct was like, eh. L Construct became really playable later on when people like knew about like light decks or light engines to make it better. Anyways, I played Shaddolls for like a little bit. Yang Zings I still have to this day. My friend Caesar and I have worked on this deck a lot. When before Denglong came out, we were still playing it, and now that Denglong is banned, we play it now and then. But it's such an amazing deck, very versatile. Now they're getting a Link Monster. I'll probably be playing it more. And the deck that I played the most was Burning Abyss. And Burning Abyss was a really boring deck to play, honestly. Like, I hated myself for playing this deck. But it was just so good, and I got the cards for really cheap, so I decided to play. Once Virgil came out, that's when I started liking the deck. Because, like, abusing Virgil and Dante at the same time was just, like, amazing. Fire Lake was so nuts. You can literally just win the game off a Firewall play. If you have, like, double Dantes or Dante Virgil Seer, it's crazy. I took this deck to my very first YCS, and to be fair, I was complete garbage then. Still, after those years, after doing so well with with spellbooks and windups, and even Blackwings. Fun fact: I have not lost a Blackwing mirror match to this date. So if anyone wants to challenge me in a Blackwing mirror match, you know where to find me. Back to BA. This deck was a lot of fun when Virgil came out, but I dropped it after the YCS. Literally, we came back from the YCS, and I, like most people do, they get rid of their decks. But I did it because there were a lot of cool decks coming out, and the deck that I wanted to play, and the reason why I got to play it because I saw my BA cards, was Necros, the Blue Army. Man, these guys were so good. Like, everything else, like, screw this compared to that. This compared to everything else was just like miles ahead. Like, its engine was so good at what it can do. Like, it was unfair. This Necros was like the best deck that I've ever played, and most competitive players like this deck for the same reason. It just allowed you to do so much with so little. If you knew how to play your cards successfully, it would reward you because of that. Such a good deck, and to this day, still one of my favorites. I still have it put together. So if you don't know what Necros are, if you just are new to the game, look up Necros and study a little bit, and you'll see some fun duels and a lot of people praising the deck because it was just so strong. Around that time was when Sephra came out as well, and I really enjoyed the theme, mainly because it was a bunch of other off themes. Well, I guess like Dual Terminal family got together to defeat the main villain of the series, which if you don't know the Dual Terminal story, you should look it up. It's really good. And that's what the Sephra and the Necros and these guys are about. Anyways, Sephra was so much fun. I've played every variant of Sephra, Pure, Shaddol, Necros, Teller Knight, Yang Zings, everything in one deck. It was so much fun. I don't think I've put in more hours in a deck than Sephra. I was working on the deck constantly, trying to make it better after work, after hanging out with my girlfriend, after hanging out with my friends. When I was hanging out with my friends, I was working on the Sephra deck. And it was amazing. I saw a lot of success with it. But the deck died down. And then recently got more support and it became really good. So I was really glad when Sephra got support so I could play it again. Amazing deck. Once Necros got hit in the November ban list, I was really sad because I didn't really have a competitive deck. But there was a deck that I was studying from July that year. and that deck was Odd Eyes Magicians. And this deck was, what the hell was this? The very first pendulum deck that actually pendulum summoned, not like fucking Cleese, because no one cares about that deck except for Caesar. Anyways, this deck was so good, just pumping out big boss monsters, negation after stunning your opponent, beating them over the head with whatever you can find. This deck was awesome. Still one of my favorites. Still to this day play it. Such a great deck. I played it up until Pepe format, and when Pepe got hit the first time and made the deck a little more relevant, or I guess easier, fair, I started playing Draco Pulse. And Draco Pulse was, woo, this deck was the best pendulum deck I've ever played in my life. We'll get to Magicians later, but Pepe was or Draco Pulse was like so unfair, but at the same time was like fair. So one of my friends said it best. Draco Pulse was the best thing that ever happened to the game when it came to pendulums. It was so good, but at the same time it was like not unfair that everything else had a chance, but this deck was like awesome. I played up until I got my very first regional finalist, top 2 with this deck. Almost got it, but my opponent opened better than I did, and he locked me out of the game. Anyways, Draco Pulse, amazing deck. Then I got sick of everything around that time. I was topping regionals with every single deck. Ray Raptors, Synchrons. I think I was playing one Spellbooks. I did some Northern Cross. But I got sick of everything. And I was looking up some OCG duels and like basically information like I always do. And I came across the single most nastiest, best, hands down best deck I've ever played in my life. And to this day, probably still the same. I feel the same. And that deck was Dark Synchro. This deck started coming out in OCG and it was wrecking everything. But we didn't have a lot of the cards that I needed to play the deck in the TCG. So what I did was like for months and months and months, I developed a strategy and a list to make the deck playable. And not just playable, but successful. And I did. I believe that I came up with the best Dark Synchro list in the TCG. I took it to all the locals that I could, and I got first, second place all the time. People didn't know how to like deal with the deck. There was so much going on. They had no hand if I went first. They had no feel if I went second. We had Trish, Crystal, and Quasar, just crazy things happening because Gofu, Armageddon, level leader, best deck. Try it out. Go back a few formats and play this shit. So fucking good. Best deck, level leader. Sorry, my man. Rest in peace. The next deck, right after that, there was not much going on, but there was a deck that I knew I had to play, and mainly because of this guy, DDDs. This is, besides Blackwings, because Blackwings hold a very like important spot in my heart, amazing deck, but this is my favorite deck of all times. It does so much, it's so elegant, it's so aggressive, it can control, it can stun, it can do everything besides ritual summoning, but whatever. We'll eventually get a ritual and a link monster, but this deck, from the moment that I saw this guy, I just knew that I had to play this deck. So I picked it up, and I love the shit out of it. Even to this day, the deck is so good to adapt to things. It gets raped by hand traps, but whatever. Amazing deck to play. If you ever see me around, if you want to challenge me to a DD mirror or a DD against something, ask away, and I will definitely make it happen. Amazing deck. Right after that, right when the DDs got the structure deck, we had 2 weeks to play around with it, a full power, quote unquote. But then something came. And that something ruined the game to most people. But in my opinion, made it a lot of fun. And that was Zodiacs. This deck right here is the main reason why a lot of people came back into the game and a lot of people quit the game. I don't know which number is greater. But nevertheless, this deck was like insane. It was not unfair. It didn't do anything retarded up until the combo with the fusion spell card. But let's talk just Pure Zoo. Pure Zoo was the only variant I play. I never messed around with anything. Actually, that's not true, and I'll explain that to you in a little bit. I played Pure Zoo for like ever, and I was having so much success. The mirror match was pretty easy. I don't think I've ever lost a mirror match where it was like even. I probably lost to them opening Maxi, the Raigeki, like Barrage, or some shit like that. But Zoo was like so good. I'm mad that I didn't take this to the nationals that year because I took something else, some garbage deck. Anyways, I didn't really care, but Zoo was so good. A lot of fun mirror matches, back and forth. Really great deck. Hopefully it becomes playable. Like I'm saying playable, not like broken. I don't want everything back, but I definitely want a Brawl Ball as Raiden. Amazing deck. If you guys don't know about Zoo, which you should, look it up. And this is another deck, much like Sephra, when I was playing Necroz and Zoo. This deck that I was toying around, mainly because I had played Odd Eyes Magicians in the past and Pepe, so I was very familiar with pendulum themes. And this is the deck that I just knew I had to play. This deck is so awesome. Everything about it is good. It's cool. Like, the cards were so much better. These are the cards that Odd Eyes Magicians needed in the past. Like, low and high scales that had effects and something relevant. And that's when I picked up this deck. And I played Pure, and I played Pure Zoo with it, and I played other things with it. It was so amazing. It became the best deck. Everyone was sucking its dick. And the thing is, before, no one believed in this deck. When I played this at locals, they were like, oh, this deck is just so garbage. It loses to D-Berry and Strike. I'm like, yeah, but if you know how to play with the deck and like, around things, you'll be successful. Amazing deck. I'm actually mad that Double Arrow is banned. Hopefully we get this 2-1. So after that, I think Code of Duelist came out, and that's when, bam, Link Monsters came out, and World Chalice was the very first one that I picked up. To be fair, I didn't care about this deck at all. I think the day before the sneak peek, my friend messages me. He says, Alex, can you please help me put a World Chalice deck together? And I told him, I don't know anything about it. I really don't. But I told him, yeah, sure, I'll look it up. And I did, and the cards were pretty looking, and they had like cool effects. But Ningirsu sold me. When I read Ningirsu, I'm like, I can draw up to 3 cards. Yes, I want this deck. So I went to the sneak peek, I picked the shit up, I played it, and I still play. Amazing deck. Very first Link heavy deck that I played, and I'm going to probably keep it forever. Such an amazing deck. If you guys don't know World Chalice, you probably do. Just play this or look into it. It's so much fun. Venus is 1 card, everything in the game. So give this deck a chance. A little bit after that, I was always a big fan of Subterrors and Spiral. But I never really liked Spiral because Subterror's art was just better and the lore was a little prettier as well. Like, I liked the lore in Subterrors. And I was really hopeful that they would get some good cards. But no, Konami just reveals this retarded card. It's like, oh wait, if you get to resolve his effect, you win the game. So fair. So typical of Konami to release like insane cards for other archetypes that don't need it. Anyways, Double Helix came out in Circuit Break late October 2017, and it destroyed the meta. This card alone made Spiral's tier 0. Probably the best deck I've ever played in my life. Next to Level Eater, the deck. But Spiral Double Helix, which is, it propelled the deck to like insane heights. Things that it would never do in the past. I mean, in the past you could like abuse Quick Fakes and summon Crystal Wing, but that was nothing up until this guy came out and just won the game. So fucking good. Anyways, I'm rambling a lot, but the last deck that I played, Gem Knights. It's a theme that I've always liked. I really enjoy the Gemini fusions and the monsters and the spell cards. Brilliant Fusion's nuts. If you can resolve Brilliant Fusion once, you're really good. You're probably going to win. But if you resolve it twice, forget it. Your opponent will not stand a chance. Anyways, love Gem Knights. I play to this day. As most of you know, I topped, I'm not going to say top, but I got really high, like day 2, YCS Atlanta with Gem Knights with a deck that a lot of people thought that it was impossible to. I took it, did really well. I love this deck. Give it a chance. The deck doesn't get as much love as it should, mainly because people that play the deck are really awful. Anyways, sorry I'm rambling. Again, amazing deck. I'm really glad that I got to pick it out again, and Phantom Core just makes the deck so much better. That's all I have to say about that. Anyways, that's it for this little story, getting you through my competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you guys have, please like the video, comment down below. If you haven't subscribed already, then please go ahead and do so. Just ask anything. If you have any questions about any decks, I'll gladly answer. If you guys want to do this yourself, please do. I would like to know what you guys played in the past. If you don't want to do a video response to it, just write down a list and I'll definitely like to read it. I feel fascinating what other people have played and why they play certain decks. I just think that's really cool. And expect more videos from me. I have some really cool videos coming up. I might be streaming my locals soon, so look up for that. And as always, thank you for watching. Alex out. Peace.